Hi guys. So today I would like to speak about the rise of the divine feminine. We have a Mercury in Aquarius trining Mars in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. So why not? Let's have a little bit open-minded conversation here. I hope not to trigger anyone. Obviously, everything I'm sharing is just my opinion and my perception of reality. But yeah, I would like to share my observation. I will not go deeply into astrology. I just mentioned a few things, but this is generally about life. So it's not so much about astrology this video because I want to kind of be practical in here. First of all, disclaimer: I am not a feminist. I don't label myself as feminist. But also another disclaimer: I don't think there's anything wrong with being a feminist. Okay, I'm just very neutral when it comes to this. But because I want to talk about divine feminine from the perception of a woman, even though, of course, it's important to acknowledge that there is a divine feminine and divine masculine in each and every one of us, despite the sex. It doesn't matter if you are a woman or a man or however you class yourself. All of us, every single human being has an aspect of both within themselves. Okay, so now that said, so this year, as I mentioned in my previous videos, Venus is definitely playing a very pivotal role. Obviously, she's still the ruler of the North Node, which is, our collective destiny, and she will become a ruler of the South Node when, the nodes change axes from Taurus Scorpio into Aries and Libra. And actually Venus is really busy. She's making all these aspects, going around the zodiac, meeting with all these other planets, exchanging information. And next month Venus will actually conjunct North Node and conjunct Uranus. So this is all about liberation, obviously still in the sign of Taurus. And what is interesting about this is that actually in summer, Venus will retrograde in a sign of Leo, which is obviously all about self-actualization. It's about our heart. It's about our destiny. And while she will be in the sign of Leo, before she starts retrograding, she will square Uranus, and also after she will stop retrograding, she will square Uranus again, and Uranus at the time will be actually in retrograde also. So Venus is doing a lot of stuff. She's not actually meeting with Mars this year, which is interesting. They're not having a exact conjunction until next year, until February. So in this year, Venus is kind of like, all the lies are on me, and I can observe it from my personal experience. I'm just going to here describe how I've experienced it. I'm not saying this is how it's happening for everyone, but for me personally, like the obviously society we live in, the divine feminine and divine masculine has become a little bit unbalanced, kind of toxic. That is my perception of reality anyway. A lot of women kind of lost the touch with themselves, because we have been we living in a world where we supposed to just work like men and like be independent, and there is all this pressure, there is all this societal pressure of what women are supposed to do, how they're supposed to act, who they're supposed to be, and like in many times they are expected to be a superhuman, right? Like have it all, do it all, right? And that kind of caused a lot of pressure and a lot of imbalance, and also it caused imbalance in regards of the divine masculine as well, because whereas women took on so many masculine, not just roles, but like kind of aspects of behavior, like in a sense that they have to be really strong and really like like get out there and go and get it and stuff like that. And there is nothing wrong with any of this. But a lot of women kind of, lost touch with their femininity and with the soft aspect of themselves, like how to be vulnerable and how to be more receptive. And it's constantly this doing, and being on a go. And sometimes we feel guilty when we, want to take a break and just be and kind of just give ourselves, because we feel like, oh, we should be doing something, or we should be doing something for someone, or all this sacrifice. And there is just so much conditioning, and there is so much programming, and there is so much there was so much suppression of this divine feminine, whereas women were, there was a certain expectation always for women to act and behave in certain ways. And obviously these expectations have changed in the past decades, but still there is a lot of pressure for women to be a certain way, which is not necessarily perhaps how women want to be, how they want to actually come across. And actually, for me personally, in my personal experience, I've also experienced this when I had to, I had to take care of myself. I've been a lot in my masculine, like being in, like very independent and stuff like that. And then in most cases, my relationship didn't, well, in all cases, because obviously I'm single, my relationship didn't work out because there was this imbalance, and it's just caused a lot of issues because I perhaps maybe try to tell the other person how to live their life, or take on this masculine role. And anyway, and since I came to Mexico, I'm actually, because this place, Puerto Vallarta, has very feminine energy, and it's actually dedicated to Virgin of Guadalupe, which is like, Saint Mary. So it's got a very feminine energy. And actually, since I've been here, I feel myself being much more feminine. Obviously, the fact that I can wear dresses helps. And also the women, the people that enter in my life, my soul tribe from past lives, it's all women. And also the people I'm getting inspired by, as you might have noticed on my social media. I don't post as much stuff on YouTube, but I post very regularly on Instagram. So if you would like to keep an eye on my post, follow me on Instagram, at moonlightstove369. And all the women, mostly who I'm getting inspired by is women. And I can observe, like, I'm not saying this is something that just happened in past couple of months, but in my experiences, I can observe more and more women stepping forward and, like claiming their individuality, like, that women are not just mothers or just wives or just whoever, workers, but they actually want to show the whole world who they really are in their essence. They want to step into their authenticity and show the world, and actually be feminine, be receptive, and also share their experience. And this is what I'm getting so inspired by many women that I'm following and watching their videos. And what they really doing is just being themselves. They don't even push their opinions onto others, like, perhaps some are. I'm just talking about the ones that I follow. And they sharing their experience, but they're doing it in a loving way where they want to help and support and raise the collective consciousness, but not in a like a put in force, like as it is usual with the masculine archetype, that they just wants to force something through, and for people, just like everybody has to adopt this because there's this like a toxic masculine strength being shown in a dysfunctional way. So what I'm observing is a lot of women, a lot of female stepping forward with their message, with their teaching, and sharing their truth, sharing their guidance, sharing their experience in the most loving way. And like a lot of them, they have gone through a very difficult situation that shook their foundation, made them to go through the dark night of the soul, claim their own power, their own authenticity, and now they're here to share their message, to spread the world, and to help others. And this is really the feminine energy, where the women take care of themselves, they give to themselves, and then they can help others. So there is no this toxicity of sacrifice and like being a martyr or being a victim, but actually turning a difficult situation into opportunities, which then actually make that woman liberated. They help them to become sovereign, and then because of the learned knowledge of the experience, whatever they had gone through, they actually become themselves, and then they can share this message, and that's usually their path. That's usually what they embody, and then go forward from them on, and this is what they bring out into the world. So now obviously entering the age of Aquarius, with the Pluto entering into sign of Aquarius next month, and all these energies. And like I said, Venus is the main star this year, pretty much, together with Pluto, obviously, and I mean all of them, but Venus is very, very important, especially now because of the nodes, which are the karmic axis, and her being the ruler now at the north node and then the south node. So Venus is very, very important, and obviously all the aspects she's making, and like I said, she's making the conjunction with the north node and the Uranus, which is all about this liberation and waking up and becoming individuated and stepping into your own authenticity. And being in a sign of Taurus, it's about your resources, about your self-love, about your self-care, about your needs, about your values. And this is the process Venus is going through. So this woman, this new Aquarian woman that is living her divine femininity, it's becoming completely like liberated and authentic, and spreading her message, showing who she really is to the world, and helping others, and like following her destiny. And it's no coincidence that Venus has chosen sign of Leo for her retrograde this year. She's gonna be retrograding in Leo, and she's gonna be in Leo for quite a while, and that's where she's going to be squaring Uranus from. So Uranus still in a sign of Taurus, so again it will be an invitation of where are we still feeling that we cannot be free, that we cannot be sovereign, what is still holding us back. And this entire year, and obviously that the time that's coming, but this year especially, it's very transformative. And I can see how all these women that has already, like, obviously this is a lifelong process, but women who already has been on their hero's journey path and coming forward and spreading the message, and also then in motivating and encouraging the divine masculine to come out, and for men to also embrace who they are, and like to heal their traumas, so then they can actually present themselves in a more authentic way, where they don't need to project and hurt and lash out and stuff like that. So this is the whole process of healing the imbalance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which I feel is also going on at the moment alongside with everything else that's going on. And all these women that are currently stepping into social media and spreading their truth are an example of that. And it's very inspiring, very motivating. Also for me, there are a lot of women that I'm coming across sometimes on daily basis who really, really inspire me. And it's a great hope for the humanity, because we have lived in a society that's been deeply dominated by men, and there is nothing wrong with men, I'm no way saying that, and everybody has a role to play, and both are needed. There has to be a balance, like the yin yang. There is a balance between the divine feminine and masculine. Like I said, we all have aspects of both, so it's not like one is better than the other. They equal, but that's pretty much exactly what we're striving towards, this equality. And there hasn't been equality. There hasn't been equality between the women and the men in the world, and now this is another thing that is becoming brought to the forefront and healed. Like, it wants to be healed and integrated, which is again why Venus is playing such an integral role, together also with Mars, because obviously Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, where the south node resides at the moment, and then it's going to move into Aries, and Aries are ruled by Mars. So there's again about a new beginning of relating to myself and relating to the other. And also, as I mentioned before, is how I can have myself be truly authentically myself, and also have you be in a relationship, interact with people, also find who my people are. So this entire year, this is the theme of it, to find your truth, your values, your purpose, and who are your people. And we're going to find it out through self-discovery, and also through reconnecting with this soft aspect of ourselves, these Venusian aspects of ourselves, which is like Taurus, and also obviously Venus just gone through Pisces, so that's all about deeper meaning. And now currently Venus is already in the sign of Aries, so it's about new beginning, and it's also this fire. She has this fire in her belly when she just wants to show the world, like, this is who I am, this is me. And that's why I'm noticing more and more women stepping forward with their message. Like I said, on my social medias, especially on Instagram, I've been sharing a lot of other women's channels, their work, their message they are trying to bring across, and these are really awakened women, really self-empowered women who are out there to help, to motivate others, to help others to heal and integrate these traumas. Because obviously we living in Aquarian age. Aquarius also is representation of trauma because it's the subconscious, and in opposition is Leo, and Leo is reconnection to the heart. And actually most of the time the traumatic, very difficult situation that we go through in life, they are the ones that help us to reconnect with our heart, with our essence, and step back into our heart and actually realize what is important and what really matters. And again, going back to Venus, she is going to retrograde in a sign of Leo, and that's all about the heart. And as we just had the full moon in Leo that was squared by the sign of Uranus in summer, we will have Venus going through the sign of Leo, retrograding in a sign of Leo, and again from that point she will be squared by Uranus. Uranus will be squaring her. And again, this is again bringing us the same message, like, how can we be more authentic? How can we living in alignment with what is important to us? How can we pursue our destiny? What is our destiny? And the way we're going to discover it is by self-inquiry, by being curious, by wanting to be adventurous. And again, these women that I am acknowledging many times in my feeds are women who are already doing that, and they're helping others to show, like, look, it is possible. It's not just like, oh yeah, well, it's okay for some, she can go and do that, but I can't. But actually everybody can, everybody is capable of making changes to their lives. It's not going to be easy. It's not easy for anyone. I'm sure all these women that are now in front of the camera, and like some of them doing very well, being very wealthy and stuff, and spreading their truth, spreading their message, people might think that they were born like that, but majority of these women, if not all of them, they haven't been born into these circumstances. They have to go through some very, very difficult circumstances, and they probably reached the complete bottom, and then they had to climb themselves out of there, and now this is what they are sharing. And I'm not saying men are not going through the same thing. I'm absolutely not saying that in no way. And there are very many inspirational men who also are in touch with their divine feminine aspect of themselves, the receptive, the softer aspect of themselves. And there is the balance. They already were able to embody the balance where they don't have to prove anything to anyone and like use some force or something. So this is the difference, and everybody plays a role. Everybody has an important role to play in these transformative times, transformative processes that we're going through as a collective, and there'll be more and more changes coming up. So that's why it's so essential this year to really have this time to introspect and to have this recognition of these values, needs, truths, the people that we want to be in association with. How do we relate to ourselves? How do we relate to the other person? And this is a process, and it's going to be ongoing. And like I said, Venus this year, she's been very busy. I mean, all the planets are, of course, but Venus especially, she's doing a lot. She's doing a lot of work this year, and she's highlighting a lot of aspects that perhaps has gone unnoticed for a long time, and now they are being brought to the forefront for us to pay attention to look at them, to actually start questioning things and start acting on them. So anyway, so I don't know whether this video makes much sense. I just wanted to share because I have been so inspired by so many women in past weeks, and as I said, this place, Puerto Vallarta, where I'm at the moment, it's got very feminine energy, and it's also forcing me to heal these aspects of myself that have been out of balance and cause difficulties in my relationships, whether to myself or to the people I'm surrounded by or I was in relationship with. So this is amazing opportunity for healing. And now we are still in a sign of Pisces, which is all about the deeper meaning, about letting go and like starting a new cycle. We just had a new moon in Pisces, which was the perfect opportunity for setting intention and putting the seeds out there, and then just watch it sprout this year. And this is going to be a very interesting year, and I can just feel that there will be more and more women perhaps stepping into powerful leadership position, perhaps more women spiritual teachers coming through, and just I can just see that it's becoming more balanced. The divine feminine wants to be acknowledged, and it wants to be considered, and it all will need to eventually, it will need to equality, because that's what it's all about. Also, living in a sign of Aquarius, there isn't a hierarchy. It's not like a pyramid like it was before. It's all about equality. So the integration of the divine feminine in a society and healing this imbalance between divine feminine and divine masculine is very important, because it's essential aspect of this age of Aquarius, where we actually want to be equal, and we want to be more humanitarian, more connected to each other, rather than project, like, with the unhealed traumas in regards of toxic divine feminine and divine masculine, where like there is so much hate and so much projection and unhealed trauma. So that all needs to be resolved, and that's why it's coming to the surface, and that's why so many women are starting to speak their truths. They want to be heard and acknowledged. Their voice is being shared across the world, and people are starting to pay attention. More and more people are starting to pay attention, and as I said, I can feel that women will actually start playing more important roles, even in leadership positions, and in a position which will help with this change and transition. So I'm gonna leave my story at that. The last thing I would like to mention, last but not least, is actually another woman that I feel very inspired by, and I have been in communication and collaboration with for some time now, is Tanya. Shout out to Tanya. She's the perfect example of an Aquarian woman. And actually what Tanya does is she's interviewing women and trying to connect women and actually bring into the forefront and into the public attention self-empowered women who, as I said, have gone through their difficulties, found a way to empower themselves, reconnect with themselves, and now they are sharing their message, they are sharing their gifts, their skills. And this is what Tanya does. She is finding these women, she's interviewing them and bringing them to the forefront of public attention for people to actually see that it is possible. And these women are sharing their stories to help empower others from a place of experience. So this is not just some made up material, and Tanya is doing a fantastic job. Actually, she has a new series on her YouTube channel. I'm gonna put all the links below. She has a new series where she's interviewing women with autism, because this is again a subject that is very important, and it's becoming more and more in public domain attention, and more children obviously are being diagnosed with autism, and perhaps even more children will be born with autism, we don't know. But this is something that people are starting to pay more attention to, and there are still a lot of people who are undiagnosed that are having this experience in this incarnation, and that's what Tanya again wants to bring to the public attention. She is actually interviewing women who are living with autism, and they want to share their story, they want to share their experience and experience of the people that they are surrounded by, what it's like for them, and what their story and their journey has been like. And it's beautiful, because a lot of people are not aware of what it actually is like for a person who is experiencing autism, what it's like for them, what is their life journey like, what it feels like. And this is what Tanya is doing. She is bringing this message, she's allowing these women to speak their voice and to bring their message, and as I said, share their experience to motivate and inspire others. And Tanya is actually, she's connecting, like I said, women all over the world. And if you wish to support her, she actually has a fundraising setup. I also put a link for that. I put a link for the playlist if you would like to check it out, find out more about these videos, about these stories, about the ladies who are sharing their stories. And yeah, if you would like to support Tanya and her work, because she is doing it, she's investing her time and her energy and her resources to help these women, and she deserves support. She deserves some help, so she can actually keep going and keep helping. And yeah, and also she's inviting women who are autistic to reach out to her, and she is going to interview them so they can again share their story and be heard and validated. For a lot of women, that's actually something that is extremely life-changing, to be able to tell their story. So again, shout out to Tanya, and like I said, I will link everything below, and you can follow her on all the social media, and if you interested to collaborate with her, you can contact her directly, or you can also support her, as I said. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, because this video is also quite long already. I just wanted to share my experience and my opinion, my perception of reality in regards of how I see what's going on in the world. Perhaps it is just my experience. Feel free to comment and share your experience, but also from the readings that I have been doing, which majority was done for women, I can see that. I can see this transition through women, how more and more women are actually questioning their truth, the way they were taught, how a woman should be, how women should act, what kind of dream should women have. And we are definitely facing a very transitionary times for everyone. And as I said, I feel that women are really stepping into their power, and they're stepping forward, and they no longer want to be suppressed, as it has been for hundreds of years, but they actually want to be equal, but not equal in the, okay, I want the same job as a man and get paid the same money. But no, we all want to play our roles in this society, in this collective. There is no competition, and it's much more than about money or recognition. This is about the energy, about the balance of energy between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I'm gonna go now. I wish you all a beautiful day, beautiful week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me. If you like this video, please like, subscribe. You can follow me also on Instagram and YouTube. I put the links below. And if you wish to have a reading with me, or just reach out, ask question, or have a chat, do contact me. I put the contact details below as well. Okay, much love to everyone. Bye.